What's up, YouTube? It's me, it's your boy D, and I am back here with, oh yes, you guessed it, another one. And today, I'm here to continue on with my Twisted Toons, factions, groups, and the people in them. And this time, we here to talk about Daffy Duck and crew, alright? So without further ado, ain't nothing to it but to do it, so let's dive in. What's up, YouTube? It's me, your boy D. I'm back. And, I've been doing this whole thing where I'm talking about all the different groups, all the individual members of each group, and all of their purposes, okay? So for this next video, though, it's a little bit different because this isn't an actual group, all right? This isn't a gang or a group that's put together. It's basically just a collection of a certain amount of characters that we just put together because they share a common interest, all right? And made them like their own little de facto group. They're not really a gang or nothing. They just are always together. So I bunched them all up together in this one video, all right? So without further ado, don't need to waste no more time. Let's get started and get right to the first character, all right?
Daffy Duck.
All right, Daffy Duck. Daffy. Now, true fact, for those of you that know me well, even though I'm always glazing Super Mario because he's the main character on this show, even though I'm always glazing Luigi because I like Luigi, truth be told, my favorite cartoon character of all time is Daffy Duck. I've always liked Daffy. I guess it's, because he always has to come second to Bugs, and that ticks me off because I always liked Daffy better. So, of course, I was going to include Daffy onto this franchise once, we had Bugs and everybody involved in it, all right? Now, Daffy's role and his personality within this little group is he's kind of the de facto leader of the group. I say that because obviously there's no real leader of this little group because they're not a gang. However, Daffy would be, if you had a leader, Daffy would be the leader because he's the one that kind of makes all the decisions, takes charge or whatever when they got certain shit going on, So that would be like his personality, basically. His role within this little group is he's basically the de facto leader. And his personality is he's basically a gangster, a street gangster. That's pretty much all Daffy is. He holds his own. He's pretty laid back, but if you fuck with him, he'll fuck you up, all right? That's pretty much Daffy's personality. I can't remember exactly which episode he debuted in, but he is an original character. And I started him off, actually, for his little backstory. He started off, obviously, as a friend of Bugs and Porky, basically, as kids. And then I had them all grow up together, and basically, Porky got signed to Warner Brothers. He bought Daffy along. And then Bugs came along a little later, so they did that whole thing. And then obviously they fell out with Bugs, all right? So then once that happened, Porky continued on, doing the Warner Brothers thing. Daffy got out of it and got into the streets. And so that's Daffy's personality from that point on, is he's gangster. And like I say, he's my favorite cartoon character. And he's just the leader of that group, that's all. You don't fuck with him. He instigates sometimes, but for the most part, Daffy is just a street gangster and the leader of this group, right? And that's pretty much Daffy. That's all I can really say. I didn't write too much specifically focused around him, but he is, the leader of that crew, all right? So with that being said, that's Daffy, all right? And let me move on to the next character, all right?
Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny, all right. Now Lola, obviously, I included her into this little thing because her common interest, at least with Daffy anyways, is Bugs. Obviously she In the beginning was Bugs' girlfriend, or not even really his girlfriend. You see, Lola's role, she is an original character that I wrote into the show. But her original role was when they were all little, she was friends with them. You know, when they went to Warner Brothers, obviously she wasn't an original Looney Tune, but what happened was I wrote that once they started filming Space Jam, they wanted a girlfriend for Bugs because it was speculation that Bugs was gay. And Bugs didn't want a girl, but they forced him to have Lola. And so that's where she came in, like into the thing. And then once all that fell out, basically, I had Lola basically, you know, mess with Bugs for a while, then cheat on Bugs with his cousin Boomer, who another character we created, alright? But then after that, basically, Lola's role within the franchise and within this group is I basically just had her as Daffy's woman. Daffy's girl. Reason being is because I wrote that, you know, she stopped fucking with Bugs and kind of always had a thing low-key for Daffy. And vice versa. Daffy always had a thing low-key for her. So basically what I did was just put them together like, yeah, got your girl, nigga. Alright, should have treated her right. Now she was a real one, because she love it over here, basically. And that's what it is, alright? So she's basically Daffy's woman. And I know it's a duck and a rabbit, but it's cartoons, man. It don't matter, alright? And that's pretty much it. You know, she appears in a couple episodes. I don't remember where she debuted, but I remember writing her, you know, actually reuniting with Bugs in one episode before they broke up. And that's it. I didn't really focus too much on her either. Basically, she's really just Daffy's girlfriend within that little squad, alright? And that's Lola, alright? So with that being said, let's move on to the next character. Alright, let's get
Donald Duck.
Alright, Donald Duck. Alright, the other duck within this little squad. Donald. And basically, Donald is an original character written on the show, alright? He appeared in the very first episode. And the common interest with him and Daffy and him is that where Daffy fell out with Bugs, who was his boy, Donald fell out with Mickey, alright? And Mickey and Bugs are always tied together in our series. So with them both having mutual friends that they don't fuck with no more, that's how they became friends, basically. And like I said, Donald appeared in the very first episode, basically trying to talk Mickey out of trying to go stop Mario, because he already knew Mario will fuck us up. But obviously Mickey won't trying to hear that. And then he fucked around and found out, alright? So he's one of the original characters that appeared in the very first episode. And then after that, he disappeared for a while, because more of the focus was put on Mickey and what he had going on, basically. But after a while, we brought Donald back and put him into this squad. And his role within this squad is basically he's the main dope boy. You know, he's a gangster his damn self. You know, you don't fuck. If you think Daffy got anger issues, you know how Donald is as a real character. So imagine him. Yeah, you don't fuck with Donald Duck, alright? He ain't scared to go out there and get his. You know, he's just another gangster within the squad, basically. And that's what Donald is. That's what his role is. He's probably the most hot-headed one of that squad. And other than that, that's pretty much it. I didn't do too much with Donald. Like, once he got his established personality, pretty much who he was. And he only really makes appearances, you know, when it has something to do with that squad or Mickey or something like that, alright? And that's pretty much Donald. Alright, so with that being said, let's move on to the next character.
Daisy Duck.
Daisy Duck. Alright. Daisy. Obviously, well, you know Daisy Duck. She's a Disney character along with Donald and all of them. And she's originally written into the franchise too. And basically her role within this squad is she's Donald's girlfriend, just like she is in real life, alright? There was no other place I could put Daisy. It had to be that, alright? And that's just, I didn't write a whole lot for her. She is originally written into our franchise along with, you know, the other ones, but she has a very limited role, and that's because there's so many characters. You can only do so much with that one. But obviously I wanted a girlfriend for Donald too, so you know, she is Donald's girlfriend just like she is in real life, all right? And she's his ride or die. And she loves him to death. You know, one of the pictures she appeared in there was her and Donald getting it on, all right? So there was that. And she's a dope girl, like he's a dope boy, she's a dope girl, and that's pretty much it. There's not too much you can say about Daisy, all right? I didn't write a whole lot for her, but her main role is she's Donald's girl within this squad, all right? And that's pretty much it for Daisy, all right? So with that being said, let's move on to the next character, all right?
Goofy.
All right, Goofy. My man Goofy, all right? Probably my favorite Disney character too, Goofy, all right? Now, if I had Donald in this squad, clearly I was gonna have Goofy, all right? Now, Goofy is basically one of the characters like Donald that appeared in the very first episode, along with Donald and Mickey, and he was basically one of the guys trying to talk Mickey out of doing what he was gonna do, but it didn't work, all right? So he was one of those that fell out with Mickey, and then his role within the squad is he's another one of the dope boys, but he's the slanger. He slangs rocks. He got that work. You know, you don't fuck with Goofy, all right? And Goofy also does his own little side things. I think I wrote one episode where he robbed like a fast food restaurant or something, where Arnold from Hey Arnold was working at, which I'll talk about him in a later video, all right? But Goofy is probably the coolest of the squad, you know what I'm saying? And his personality is very much like Goofy, but a little more gangster, basically, all right? And he's Goofy. He's another gangster, another thug, along with Donald and Daffy and all them. You know, he don't fuck with Mickey. And him and Donald have always been boys since day one, and so that's his role within the squad, all right? He's the big, tall, you know, slanger, basically, of the crew, all right? And that's pretty much Goofy in a nutshell. He appears in a little more episodes than Donald in them, but it's because he's Goofy, and you can use him for different things, basically, all right? Obviously, he does his little karaoke thing on the side with Batman, as Donald does his podcast on the side with The Flash, which I forgot to mention, all right? But other than that, that's it. That's Goofy in a nutshell, all right? And with that being said, let's move on to the next character, all right?
Minnie Mouse.
All right, Minnie Mouse. All right, Minnie Mouse. Now, obviously, it should be familiar since I got the former girlfriend of Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny, as a part of this squad. So clearly, I was going to have Mickey's former girlfriend, Minnie, as a part of the squad too, all right? And basically, her role is the fact that, you know, she don't fuck with Mickey no more. Because she found out he was gay, you know, with Bugs and all that. And after that, she didn't want to deal with him no more, and she moved on to other things, all right? Now, her role within the squad is she's obviously, you know, a gangster dope girl like Daisy, like Lola, all right? But her main role within the squad is, believe it or not, she is Goofy's woman, all right? So basically, she fell out with Mickey and hooked up with old Goofy, all right? And it's simply because I wanted a woman for Goofy. Like, I had a woman for Daffy, for Donald. Well, I wanted Goofy to have his too. And it just made sense to put Minnie with him, right? She does appear, she is an original character, you know, within the franchise. One of the first pictures she appears on is the same one that Daisy appears on with Donald, where she was getting it on with Mickey at first. Because at first we had them together. Then they fell out. She disappeared for a while, reappeared as Goofy's woman, all right? And that's pretty much her role within that squad. She's his woman, you know. They all got their certain women, and Minnie Mouse is Goofy's woman, all right? And other than that, that's pretty much it. I didn't write a whole lot for Minnie either, but she is definitely there, all right? So with that being said, that's Minnie Mouse. Let's move on to the next character, all right?
Tails.
All right, Tails. Tails from Sonic. Now, obviously, he's probably a weird addition to this little squad. All right, but hear me out. So Josh drew a picture one time of, I believe it was Goofy and Donald, and I think Goofy's son Max or somebody, and they were meeting up with Tails and Knuckles. And so after that, I just came up with the idea because Tails had been on the show franchise already through various episodes, but he was like a random character. So I was like, you know what? Let me put him with them because it looked like it fit. So I basically and he fell out with Sonic. So that's another thing he had in common with the other one. And so basically what I did was included Tails within that little squad. And his role in the squad is basically he's the YN of the squad, if you know what that means. He's the young cat that don't give a fuck. Fuck you up. That Tails is all about it, all about that action. He's, like I say, he's a YN. He's the one to be ready to go when it's, that's Tails, all right? And that's pretty much his personality, the YN street thug, ready to go type guy. He get his ladies and all that, but Tails be about that work, all right? Tails don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he be the one with the baklava on and everything, all right? And that's pretty much it in a nutshell, I didn't write too much for Tails individually like the rest of them. But whenever that little crew or something has something going on, Tails will be right there with him, ready to go with his shirt off and his machine gun and everything else, all right? And that's Tails, all right? So with that being said, let's move on to the next character, all right?
Knuckles.
All right, Knuckles. All right, so Knuckles the Echidna. Now, just like with Tails, Knuckles used to be Sonic's boy, and they fell out. Sonic went over there with Mario, but basically sold them out. So Knuckles said, fuck it. He kept hanging with Tails, and then they linked up with Daffy and them. It became a squad, all right? And that's pretty much what that is. Now, Knuckles' role within the squad is much like Tails. He's the tough motherfucker of the squad. Tails is like the YN, but Knuckles is the street, like, he's like the one you really don't want to piss off because he's always ready to fight. And he's always mad. He's just the wrong nigga to fuck with, basically. And that's pretty much Knuckles' whole personality in a nutshell. He's always ready to go, always mad. He's a thug, He appears in a lot of, he appears in various episodes doing his own thing along with Tails. But for the most part, when you see Knuckles, it'll be having something to do with that squad. This particular squad I'm talking about right here, all right? Other than that, that's pretty much it. There ain't too much more to say about Knuckles. As you can see, this is a shorter video because there's only a few characters and not much really to say about any of them other than they're just a squad together. But I wanted to focus on them all right? So anyways, that's Knuckles in a nutshell. So with that being said, let's move on to the final character in the squad, all right?
Elmer Fudd.
All right, Elmer Fudd. Last but not least, Elmer Fudd. Now, you're not going to see no AI concept about him because AI act like they don't know who Elmer Fudd is, even though they know all the rest of the Looney Tunes. All right, and basically, Elmer's role within that squad, he was only even included because Josh didn't know how to draw Porky at first. Because I wanted it to be Porky. I wanted it to be Bugs, Daffy, and Porky, like it was Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. But because he couldn't draw Porky at the time, substituted Porky with Elmer Fudd. And I remember it was a specific episode I wrote. Because after a while, because there was a time where Bugs and Mickey came back and started hanging out with them. And then those two got into it and fell out. And so what happened was there was a little divide for a minute where it was like the Warner Brothers characters and the Disney characters. And so they were arguing. And, Mickey had Donald and Goofy behind him, and behind Bugs was Daffy and Elmer Fudd. And then Bugs punched Mickey in the face, and, it went on from there. But other than that, that was like one of Elmer's main roles, like main appearances in the show. And after that, you don't see him very much unless he's with the rest of them. Because I really didn't write a whole lot for Elmer. He was just basically there to replace Porky, and then Josh figured out how to draw Porky, so it was like, well, he's already here now, all right. But that's pretty much it for Elmer. He's just a thug like the rest of them. That's pretty much all I can say. I didn't write nothing for him at all. And with that being said, that's pretty much it. That is the show. I mean, the show. That's that squad, that little mini squad, basically, in a nutshell. I appreciate you guys for enjoying these videos, the ones that watch them and enjoy them. I only have a few more left, and then you don't have to hear me ramble no more, all right? But if you like these videos, as I always say, hit the like button, subscribe, keep your notifications on, leave your comments down below, and as always, don't ever hesitate to dive into it with D, all right?